Hello and welcome back to the Twingo channel. It's a rather cold morning today. It's about 2-3 degrees, something like that, maybe 4. It's pretty cold, and today I'm going to be doing a compression test on the little Twingo. I also replace its lighting stalk on the steering column. There's no main beams on the car at the moment, and then the fuses are all okay. And the power's going to the connector, so it's either the wiring going out to the lights or it's the stalk, and the stalks are known to fail. Also putting the battery back in my Renault Sport Clio Gordini. This was purchased about 2 years ago. It's had a lot of work done to it. It's a 2-litre engine. It was done by a company up in Manchester, all the work, and it's about 280, something like that. So replacement engine from a Mk1 225. Yeah, it's a pretty quick car. So that's a 2010, by the way, and that's got about 70,000 miles on. I've taken it around the track a few times, so quite good fun. So, and then over in the back there is the Twingo Gordini. That's a very rare car. It's about 38,000 miles, something like that. 2011, and also my motorbike there. So yeah, let's get on with it. So off camera, I've just put the battery in. It's a bit of a faff, to be perfectly frank. Getting it in, it's a two-handed job, so I haven't got a tripod yet. So just gently tighten those up a little bit. So that's the stalk that's failed. It's pretty solid actually inside. You can there's no. Again, it's just the switch. Again, it's the switch. You see, it's. If I put the lights on, if you can see, when it basically, you do 4 beams, you get nothing, and it goes back to things. So the actual light itself actually doesn't go on, which basically that light is powered. That bulb is powered through the actual switch. So when the actual circuit goes on, so if the bulbs go or there's a problem, both bulbs go, then that light won't go on. So this is the new part. Again, it's pretty straightforward replacement. So again, it's pretty simple, and again, it's basically got these are the indicator connectors and the horn, and that's actually for the lights, for the dipped beams and the main beams, and the side running lights. So it's not a difficult thing. This came new from France in about 2 days flat, which was pretty good. So yeah. So there's the actual the light unit on this side and the wiper stalk on this side. Again, it was pretty easy to get the covers off. There's a screw. Yeah, there it is. There's one on that side, one on the other side, and one underneath there, and all of the plastics come off. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, there's actually underneath some screws. Don't know whether you can see that. I can't see that in the camera. Yeah, there's basically some screws underneath there, which basically I have to undo, and yeah, there we go. You can see them. Focus camera, focus, and I take those out, and then I can basically take the unit out. So I've just disconnected it and basically unscrewed it, and I'm about to disconnect the power on here. I said, you notice that maybe actually the battery's still plugged in. I'm not a professional, I'm just more of a hoper really. So really you should take the battery off, but I'm fine with doing it like this. And again, it's a pretty simple mechanism. That's actually that thing there is basically for when you turn your steering wheel. It actually cancels your indicators, so either way. So yeah, so I'll unplug this. And that's the stalk put back in. And again, if I do indicator, so hang on, let's get this right. Yeah, so that's working all nicely, and everything all works. Cool. Just noticed something. Actually, this has a cover which basically goes over the stalk, so when it's in there it protects the insides, like this one here. This one has one here, so the new part doesn't have it. It's not there, so I'm just gonna slice that there and basically then put it on there, and there we go, job's all done. So yeah, that all works. There's the keys. Let's just turn the ignition on. Feels very stiff compared to the other one. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, excellent. Next job. So on to the compression tests. Now, again, you have to take all the 4 spark plugs out of this thing. I've actually got a new module coming in from an eBay seller. It's late. It's probably about 6 days late, 5 days late. So I'm currently talking with them about getting a replacement in, because I think one's gone lost in the post. So yeah, I've actually taken these out separately, because you can't do it with the two-handed actually, because there's quite a bit of pressure. So again, you have to take the coils out. The spark plug leads out. So I'm used to coils, because most modern engines now actually have the coils actually as part of the whole assembly. Okay. For some reason, Renault basically used a tiny spark plug. I actually had to buy this separately. This is a separate tool which is long enough to get down into the spark plug holes, because it's a fair old way down there. It's very difficult to see. Yeah, it's a very long way down there. Yeah, it's also really small one, and it's also got a magnet to basically help take the plug out, because sometimes they get you can't get them out. Sometimes these have a rubber bung, but I've always found that the rubber bungs are sort of come out and you're stuck with the rubber bung sitting on top of a spark plug which is loose. So there's quite a strong magnet in that. So right, let's take these out. So sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat here, so I think I've got a bit of a chesty infection coming. So this is the first spark plug coming out, and looks okay. It's a bit dusty on the outside, but that's a reasonable colour for the spark plug. The gap's a little big. The gap is a little big. Let's see whether I can hone in on that. Come on, focus. Focus. Gap's actually very big indeed. I might actually bend that slightly. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's number 1. So that's number 2. Again, the gap is very big indeed. Very big. So anyway, yeah. So it's a good colour. It's a bit grubby around the edges. Lots of carbon, but otherwise the tip of the spark plug looks fine. 3 looks clean and tidy, same as the other ones. No issues getting it out. And number 4, again, they all look the same. Yeah, if there was a head gasket failure, then they would look a lot cleaner. So anyway, right, before I turn it over, I have to basically stop the fuel pump. and the injectors. So again, on the Twingo, on the Mk1 Twingo, there is a fuse, 25 amp fuse, which I've got to basically take out. So I'm just going to do that, and we'll start turning over. So this is my compression tester. So it comes in a kit with lots of adapters. And so I've just actually added the adapter in for the spark plugs. They're very, very tiny. So I'm just going to start with cylinder number 1. Now on French cars, transverse engines, cylinder 1 is always the one closest to the gearbox. So I've put the compression tester into the first socket, and it's here, and then I'm going to give the engine a spin. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that like that, and hopefully you should actually see when it happens. Oh dear. Oh well. It popped out of its. That's better. Take 2. Well, we've got 75, whatever that was. Try again. Let's tighten up the battery terminals. Yeah, it's the negative that's not tight enough. Hang on. I've actually just been helping next door with his camper van. His battery died on it, so I've just lent him my charger and helped him fit it. So hang on, I was turning this the wrong way, but anyway. Right, okay, let's try again. Let's just see whether I can get this to focus properly. Okay, right. Try again. Here we go. That looks good. What have we got? Wow, that's not bad. 160. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Right, okay, on to the next. I'll just press the release. That's fine. Go on to the next cylinder. Okay, so we're now on cylinder number 2. The cable's a bit awkward to work with, so I've had to move the phone and the camera and the this to one side. Let's just put that. Let's see what I can. There we go. So you should be able to see it. One. That's not bad. Yeah, that's very similar to the first cylinder, which is good. Good sign. Okay, third cylinder next. So that is close to 175. It's a bit higher. So this is the 4th cylinder. So that is 180. So yep, so that's a reasonable spread. I'm actually going to go back and redo the cylinders 1 and 2 again, just to make sure. So this is cylinder 1 again. So I'm just going to retry this one. Yeah, that's a much better seal, much better. Okay, so let's try cylinder 2. So right, so that's cylinder 2 now. That's definitely much better, yes. So I think the first 2 times it wasn't sealed properly, so we only got to about 160. So yes, so they're well within all of the tolerances for the car. So the engine's actually quite healthy. If there'd been a head gasket failure, I would have expected one of the cylinders to be a little less. So you never know, actually it might not be a head gasket. Right, so I've given all 4 spark plugs just a quick light brush up, and I'm going to put them back into the car. All 4 spark plugs are back in the cylinders. There we go. And I'm now going to check the coil connectors, the ignition lead connector I should say. I think this one here, which is cylinder 4, is a little loose, so it could be causing a misfire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just bend the metal in a little bit and also scrape a bit of crap off of it as well, and I'm going to do it for each one of those and just make sure it's a nice tight fit. Right, all the ignition wires are back in, all the connectors, the fuse is back in, so I'm now going to start the engine up and see how it runs. So she started quite well, idling very nicely. I didn't get the spark plug wires mixed up. I bent a few of the actual connectors in a little bit to give it a little bit more contact, and scraped it with a small little file here. Focus, come on, that's it, focus. So I use a little file just to, come on, that's it. So actually scrape down the connectors inside. Just going to shut the garage down. No smoke, no nothing. It's not got hot enough yet, so still got the airbag light to do. That actually came on after I actually had the car, so I'm going to let it warm up and then see what it misfires. You may not be able to hear it over the sound of the PO. The PO is very loud, but you can actually see the spark plug wires actually shuddering, and that's basically when it misfires. So, yeah, it's not even warm yet. So there's that there is the pin which goes back to the back. So I'm just going to disconnect that now. Right, it seems that that top there, literally there, this little thing here is bigger than the one from the old one, and so I've actually got to take a little bit of material off of that plastic part, just literally that thing there. It's just a little bit too proud for it to actually go into the door, so I'm just going to do that now. So there we are. I've just taken a little bit of the material off of that part thing there. Focus, come on, focus. It won't focus. So yeah, I'll just put it on there, so hopefully it will fit now. So there we are. It's in and it feels a lot more positive. So let's try. Yeah, that works. The mechanism needs cleaning and lubricating, but that works. So I will then do that side as well. Again, it's really odd how it's 1990s plastics, and they put this coating on it, and it's awful. It is so bad. It just goes all sticky and nasty to the touch. So it's just really tatty. And actually finding ones for this car are very hard indeed. I've been searching for it quite some time now, since I've had the car, and yeah, I even took it off and actually put the part code in. No, nobody's got them. So I think they're just basically those things sprayed silver, but it's this tacky. Look, my finger's actually sticking, and that's not. So it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. So passenger side door handle done, and it works, no problem at all. And the driver's side is done. Okay, the colour's different, but from the plastics, but it's better than what was on there. It really is a lot better. And again, I'm going to replace that with similar colour. I'm not too fussy about originality. Again, it's a shame, because that one here is just, it looks so rough. I would rather have a slightly different colour and actually look good than looking all worn and tatty. I have noticed that this door thing needs fixing, so it's probably from where it got broken into. So yeah, that's the bonus on the video and what I was going to say I was going to do. So engine's been running. It's actually misfiring. No, it is. Yeah, it's misfiring. So, and there's been quite a bit of condensation out the back exhaust. So let me show you. Oh, don't want to smack the door on this next door's house. You can see it's there's quite a bit of water coming out. It could be more. Again, the engine hasn't run for a long time, but my gut instinct is head gasket still. Occasional misfire, so yeah, it's ticking over nicely. So I haven't heard the fan yet. Come on. The engine's very hot. Yeah, that radiator is roasting hot, so it could be a thermostat problem. So I'm going to switch it off now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm doing a lot more with the car. I've got all the dent pullers and stuff like that. They've all arrived, so I'll be getting on with dents like that and a few bits and pieces. So yeah, also going to sort out the door locks, because the door locks have arrived. Yeah, there's a faint little dent just there. And also I've got to fix all this, so it's fine. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Tune in for another instalment with the Twingo.